And for more on this latest executive order reclassifying marijuana, we're joined by Saphira Galoob, the executive director of the U.S. Cannabis Roundtable. Thank you so much for joining us. First, can you just break down for our viewers the actual differences between Schedule 1 and Schedule 3 and what reclassifying one to the other means for marijuana in the U.S.?
Well, thanks for having me, Linsey. And it was a really important day for not just the regulated cannabis industry, but also for patients and consumers. Today, President Trump, in his decision, formally acknowledged that cannabis has accepted medical use and a low abuse potential, which really is the main thing that distinguishes Schedule 1 drugs like heroin to a Schedule 3 drug like Tylenol with codeine or testosterone. So cannabis is finally placed in the schedule legally where it deserves to be placed based on its medical value and its abuse potential.
As we mentioned, this does not mean marijuana is legal at the federal level. Even with this reclassification, what other restrictions on marijuana use remain in place?
So you're absolutely right. This does not legalize marijuana or cannabis as we refer to it. And so, in fact, there still remains a conflict between federal and state law, which only Congress will be able to resolve. We do, as you mentioned, have 40 states that have commercial medical programs. And so those states will be able to continue to sell medical cannabis in dispensaries. But this is not a nationwide legalization. You will not be able to have marijuana transported or sold between state lines. You will still need to buy it and purchase it in state dispensaries. And so we will still have a regulated marketplace in place, but today marks an enormous change for the reform effort and really for patients and consumers around the U.S. and eventually around the world.
Just one follow-up on that, though. Even with marijuana still illegal at the federal level, is there any possibility that reclassifying the drug could lead to changes in how marijuana-related offenses are penalized?
Certainly this is going to be a big signal to policymakers that the war on drugs and prohibition did not work. And individuals who are incarcerated or who could have the potential to be incarcerated for cannabis possession or use is just no longer where we are in the modern day. We have more than 40,000 businesses who are operating legally in this industry and regulated in this industry. And today's order will mark a tremendous change for their ability to operate legitimately like other legal businesses.
And just in the last few seconds we have here, we mentioned that most U.S. states already allow some medical use of marijuana. What impact would they feel from this change, if any?
So state markets won't be disrupted specifically, but I do think the signal from the White House that cannabis has both medical use and a lower abuse potential will open up more states to offer access to patients and consumers, and the businesses will no longer have this burdensome tax penalty. So they'll be able to assure a regulated and safe product for patients and consumers, which is what we all demand and deserve.
Saphira Galoob, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.